All right, everybody. We're gonna continue on our binary search tree stuff. I posted an announcement with what we're gonna use. It uses our old code, but I added a person class because fuck doing search trees with like basic shit like integers and strings. We want to up our game and be able to use it on any object. So I added person, a couple basic comparators to remind us how they work. And then we're gonna modify our whole node and binary search tree to use the person class, and that means we got to come up with a custom comparator for it. Starting notes are here. The exam is next Wednesday. You do not have to come in. There is not a paper component, but I will be here. And so if you come in and start working on your assignment and you have questions, then that's a good way to ask questions about what's going on to someone that is not cheating. You can ask me all sorts of shit. If I tell you it's valid information. If I say I can't tell you that, then that's probably telling you the answers. But like if you need clarification or like getting pointed in the right direction, I can do that. Asking your peers to do that is cheating. It's really easy to go from pointing me in the right direction to here's my fucking code because it takes too long to describe the right direction. And then it's you're fucking looking at their shit. You're either hopefully you're not looking at their shit, but you can end up copying it, stuff like that. That's not a good idea. So come on Wednesday next week. We're gonna have it then. It won't be due till Sunday like this last time. I think there's gonna be two. I think we're gonna have one with a binary search tree, and list was this section too, right? Lists were this section, but yeah, we'll do a list and a binary search tree. All right, so announcements. Go grab this, come paste it. I added one more little line that I wanted to stuff we can do time permitting. Probably not today, but since I'm not in Texas, we got Wednesday as well to make a nice little some fun shit on our binary search tree. And before we start editing shit, we should go look at what person is, what is in the person class. So person has, and I got my visualizer thing up. I'll start making little notes over here. Now, easier way is just like that. So the person class has string first name and last name. And a Boolean gender. And I see set gender down below says 0 is female, 1 is male. And we've got an integer age. That should be apparent. We've got a constructor. The person constructor comes with arg first, arg last, gender, and age. And it looks like it's got default stuff there. Gender and arg age. We've got set things. I'm not going to write them down because if your ID doesn't pop up automatically when you start doing set or get, you should write them down. But I know if I start typing set under this stuff, it'll tell me what set commands there are, and I can choose from then. So I don't need to memorize the names of the commands or the methods. We have a person display method. Let's do this. What's the resolution? Autofocus. There we go. And we got two basic comparators. We can go look at them in a second. And I got some stuff we can add when we've got everything working. Right now, our search tree and nodes are set up for integers only. So we should go through and edit that first. So let's go up to node and let's just start at the top and work downward. Instead of using an integer, we're going to use a person. I'll call it value. That way we only have to modify the code below so much. And we should make a new constructor. And we'll comment out that one. So when you guys are ready, well, I'll scroll down to where the node is and we'll modify it. Let's come find where it is in the code. Right here, line 176-ish area is where the node is, the node constructor. I'm going to make a new node constructor that takes in a person. And if I do that and just comment out the name, everything should work. Set value does not. Set value wants to take in an integer, which means I do need to change set value. That's a good thing to let us know. So it's telling us to change set value. Let's go change set value, which is at 195. We're gonna just take it to use a person arc. And we'll comment out build title. We need to change 199 too. It looks like it's returning an integer. And we want it to return a person. And since we edited those, we're going to have to go up top, make sure we edit them above. But I'll pause there while we do that. I'm going to make a little note. We so far have, we edited node constructor. We have done set value and get value. So I'll come up here, all the way back up to node, and we'll do some editing there. Yeah. Yeah, that's coming up. I was trying to finish the node stuff and then because the binary search tree needs the nodes. So if we get node working, then binary search tree will be a little bit easier. So this one isn't working anymore. Our value methods are old. These are the integer methods. So I'm going to comment those out. And we'll make new ones for our current one. So we're going to do void set value. We're going to pass in a person. That's how we had it. And then our get value returned a person. I'm looking through the node. It just has pointers to left and right. Person changed. Set left, set right shouldn't change. Find depth. Looks like find depth is taking in an integer. I know that okay, so the int return here is depth. The int argument was based on integers. So we need to make an int find depth person. I'm going to comment out the old find depth. So we're just going through it one at a time, looking for what use integers, switch into people. Or if you wanted to make a whole new node and binary search tree starting from scratch, knock yourself out. But I think it's a little bit easier just to edit the little bit we need to do. Let's come find node find depth. There's my person shit. I got a node constructor down here for people. I should go put that up there. Where is, what was I doing here? Find depth, yes, thank you. Did I just see it? The fuck is it? That's binary. I want the one should say node. I know, but I commented out up above. Here it is. Int node find. So we need int node find depth person. Okay, we have some problems. We're passing in people and it doesn't know how to compare people. So we're going to have to make our compare person thing. Yeah. Why? Would you ever, as a user of a program, want to go by the address that the shit is stored in memory of? Is that helpful to any fucking user whatsoever? Let's say it's a fucking phone book. Do you want to look through the phone book for a person based on where their address is stored in memory? Well, yeah, that's a shortcut for what, like if no one's ever going to see behind the curtains, sure. But that's not realistic. No one wants that. So we're going to need to compare people. So let's go look at our comparators real quick. I'm going to make a note here that we need to come back to node find depth. I'm back to node find depth. Around 250 to 260-ish. area. And let's go look at our, find where my comparators are. Okay, so my two generic ones that I have, one is compare age and compare age for greater. The way they're set up, and we can choose to change it, but what I had in mind is the incoming person is arg1. And the node value, node is to compare against is arg2. And we're trying to decide, do we go left or right with the next for the person? So that's the idea of what's going on with the Booleans. And this makes sense with the age. Lower age, we go left. Higher age, we go right. But that's probably not a great way to do a database entry. So we've got with our people, grab a different color. So these are what our people have. First name, last name, gender, and age. I'm going to say maybe we should do compare by first name or last name first. And then like if it's less, go left. And more, go right. Or higher, go right. But then we should have an option that if the last names are equal, then maybe do by first name. And if first name's equal, now we're in a little rare area. We could do by gender or by age next. So we're going to compare first names. And then if a tie, we can decide on gender or age. But eventually, if it goes through and the ages match and the genders match and the last names match and the first names match, maybe we should say, hey, dude, you already fucking, it's already here. Well, find depth, that's what we're trying to find, right? Yeah, on the node, that's what we're trying to find.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What if the last name gets messed up because of ASCII values? Like someone puts in like a lowercase versus a capital.
We can use like two upper and stuff like that to address that.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. So it is comparing him going, yeah. If I is less than value, go left. So that's what we want. So we're going to have something like if compare peeps I comma value, we're going to pass in like that. That's the goal right here. This is our goal. Make this work real quick. Okay. So where will we find depth? So if we're comparing two people, so maybe if arg1, so we're comparing last names. If arg1 get last name is less than arg2 get last name, that's comparing last names. We want it to go left here. So we're going to say return 1. It's true. We want it to go left. We're returning a 1. So it tells it to go left. I even made a note that we had to change find depth. Look at that. Then we said, okay, now if they're tied, and let's just copy paste that and change the comparator in the middle. I'm going to change this to equals equals. Now we look at first names. So if I'm going to paste that and just change this to say get F name and get F name there. If that's the case, we'll return 1 there. And then we'll do the case if the first names are tying. Slow down. So let's just copy and paste that and change that to an equal sign or double equal sign. So we're comparing. Now we got to decide what we want to compare next. Do we want to compare gender or age? Gender? You want to go like if it's a boy, if it's a, okay, we'll do gender. So now we look at genders. Alexis chose this. If you don't like it, blame Alexis, and you can change it if you don't like it. So we're going to look at if arg1 get gender less than arg2 get gender. Return 1. And we'll do another one where if those are equal, we got a lot of nested shit here, don't we? Now we're going to check age. let's see. Maybe if arg1 get age. Now, this is the case where everything is equal. So we want to figure out what we want to do, because return 1 is go left. So return 0 is go right. But what do we do if they're equal? Booleans only have 2 options. Let's go see how find depth is going to work and see if that's going to work for us. Maybe a Boolean is not going to work. I said it was down here. There we go. Well, maybe I can compare people directly and not have a problem. Maybe that's not a problem. Yeah, it's bypassing the compare to do left and right. So when they're equal, it's not a problem. Wake up. All right. I know this is so stimulating. So like, shit. I'm gonna say throw an exception. Just in case. These are the same people. Because this means it's snuck past art comparison in the find value. And I'm missing one more like that. And I don't need to do the greater than version, because if all of these are not met, it's got to be greater. So if arg1, or if we're going by last name, if the last name is not less than, and the last name is not equal is going to skip this one. It's going to go straight down to return 0. So less than or not equal to, both deal with it. Return 0 covers greater than. And then we go into here. Same thing happens in here. We return a 1 if it's less than. If it's equal to, we keep drumming down, returning 1 to go left. And if it's equal to, we kept drumming down until we threw an exception. All of these end up covering the greater than thing. So if the first name's tied, or the first names weren't equal, but the last names were, the first names were greater, it would go into, last name's the same, first name is greater. This one doesn't happen. It gets to this if statement and it says, nope, it's not that. So it bypasses the rest of that if statement. Everything is done here and does return 0. So that's last name, first name's, last name's tied, first name's different. So the return 0 is covering everything like that. Yes, Eli says, change this to make it clever. We have a doppelganger. Funny, it's spelled 2 ways. Doppelganger is like the English version, but like the real like German, I think there's some fucking double dots over, like, I don't know. But doppelganger. Binary search trees are. Okay, so I think our compare person thing is set up well. Let's go back and change that, finish the find depth. And now it doesn't like that. So that's not going to work. What? Yeah, isn't value a person? Ah, we can do this. Let's do this. It doesn't like that, but our comparator does left or right. So let's set this up so that it doesn't do left or right. If I dot get, why is it not acknowledging that this is like in our up here? I've got find depth person arg in our node. That shouldn't matter, but I can change that to I. Oh, I know why. Where am I? 250 something, 260 something. Let's see what it says. If I did the I dot get last name. So we're going to compare it to value get last name. So we're trying to mimic 274, but for people. Mimic the I equals value, but for people. So we're gonna do a little nested thing. So then we gotta check the first name. And then we're checking, it doesn't really matter at this point. We can do gender or age, but we need to check to see if all of them are the same. But
I was gonna say, can we also just like, if you get the address of the root person, can we compare it to the address of the root person?
but what if they're not? What if they made like they did, the person's already in there, and like this isn't a program, they're adding a new entry. When they add the person in, it's creating a new node. It's not going to have the same address. So we don't. That's a, like if we're just comparing existing nodes, yes, that would work great. But if it's like a new person coming in, we gotta. Finally, return 0. That's what it had. That mimics 274. That's a long fucking line. Just because the way I have it nested looking. Yeah, but that makes it a really long line. It's a little hard to fucking read. But yeah, we could make it a single line. We definitely could. If last name equals, if the last name's equal and first name's equal and age is equal, you know. But for user readability, programmer readability, I'm gonna leave it like that. All right, so I did this one right here. I put compare peeps is what we're wanting to do. But we gotta do it for each of these. Everywhere I see the less than, I need to do I less than value. And here, I have two choices. I can keep it as I and value, but we're trying to go greater than, so maybe just say not. Or I could just change the order of these and say value is greater than I. Is value less than I? This seems kind of weird. We had if I is less than value, do this. Oh, there's a if, okay. Okay, yeah, we do need it. That 291 should replace 292 now. And nothing else is doing comparison. I'm going to make a note here on the 291, or we could have said compare peeps and then den value comma I. That way, if value is less than I, that's the same thing as I is greater than value. All right, we got reds. Report doesn't like it now. So let's change our report to do compare. See, nope, that's not the problem. Its value is a person, and so we need the display operator. And it's not a CO. It's just a do it. You do an end line here. I like two because then it'll put two spaces. So over here on my list, we've done the node find depth. That was our compare peeps. And we also edited node report. I think all the node shit's done. Now we got to fix the binary search tree. So I'm going to change this to say edited for a person. All right, we got our node thing done. Looks like add nodes got some problems because it's comparing some people. So we're going to have to come back down here and fix add node. Maybe we can do that now. So on line 242 area-ish, we've got binary search tree add node. Just making a note that we're working on that. At 2:42. We need to change it to take in a person argument. And we're gonna need to change it in main. And now it's wanting to compare arg and current get value. So if we're doing a comparison, that's the same thing as doing if compare dot arg is less than current dot get value. I've got 1, 2, 3. No, it's compare peeps, not just compare. And it's not less than, it's comma. It does it inside of it. There we go. So that is doing this is doing arg less than current, which is 256. And we want to do something similar down here. I'm going to copy this line because it might speed up. We're doing arg and then temp get value. So 263 is the person version of 264. I'm gonna get rid of Juan's ternary operator bullshit. All right, so I've edited add node, but we changed person here. So we got to change it up in the prototype. So go all the way up to binary search tree prototype. And this needs to be void add node person.arg. And I'll comment out this one. All right, so this is a problem. Binary search tree has a find depth. This needs to be int find depth person. So we gotta go find out where that is. Ready to go find it? Awesome. Look at you. Oh, it's helping out. There we go. Right around 231. You're right. There we go. So this needs to be a person. So if the root exists, which means there's a tree, do root find depth, do the node version of find depth. Okay. And find depth already does what we needed to with the compare people. So that was an easy edit. All I had to do is change that to say person. I don't see any fucking red no more. That's a good sign. Let's go come up here and make sure we got all our shit in there we need. We got node, we got left, right, person is a value. We've got a node person constructor. I assume we have that down below because it doesn't say anything. I think I copy pasted that in. We'll go look at that real quick. We got our set value, get value for person, find depth for person, binary search tree. We modified it to work with person. We should set up some constructors. We'll do that in a second. Our person class, we already know what it's got. So, person constructed there. Just minimize all those so that I'm scrolling less. We didn't even use that one. We did that. Oh yeah, we had the node, the integer value, and we just changed it to say person. And we pass in the person to set value, and we changed set value already. So that's looking good. Going through, checking all these. The nodes all made sense. We fixed set value and get value. We've edited this one. We've edited binary search tree. Root.report. Yeah, we changed that. We did this to add people. We have the compare peeps thing going on. We did define depth. That used our compare peeps also. And we got a report. Everything's looking good. Where is the fucking main? Person, there we go, main. All right. No, we need a constructor. So we need some binary search tree constructors. Node's done. I'm going to shrink that down. So we need a binary search tree constructor. And I think we're passing in a person, right? Does person have a default? Yes, it does. Person had a default. So just having that as is our default constructor. Now we just go in and edit it. We'll come down at the bottom. Maybe I'll do it right before the, right here. If we're doing our constructor, we're making the root. We're going to do root set value arg. This passes the person into the root. You set up the tree. wrong, Alexis? How far back did I lose you? You should say something when I lose you.
No, what, no, so I was gonna take a piss.
Oh.
That's what it is, so I'm just like, trying to follow along.
Yeah,
Do it.
hour and 15-minute class, and you can't hold the piss?
No.
Go before class, bro.
I would bladder like a fool.
You know, a 4-year-old girl can hold it for an hour. That's fucking crazy. Too much coffee. You have a lot of caffeine?
Probably.
Probably.
I get a lot of that.
That'll do it. All right, so we got our constructor. Everything's looking red. I set up my people tree. This one's already done, and if we want to just see if it works, let's do people tree dot report. Print is what it's called. And print does root dot report. What, Eli? What was your root, all your confusion? I'll see myself out. Eli's talking out his ass. Let's just run it. Please work. MFR. All right, so it tells us where. There's a lot of fucking errors here. See declaration of node. Line 15, value unknown override. What? Oh, I have person declared after the node. And I referenced node. I referenced person in the node. So go grab your person class and just cut and paste it above the fucking node. I think that's the problem. I'm gonna put these down below there. It ran. It did run. There's the window. It just didn't do what I wanted. So why? Source, where are we at? Fucking Zoom shit's getting in the way. Read access violation. Where did that happen? All right, end. Is there something wrong with print? Nope, it's not the print thing. Is something wrong with our search tree? Or is it just person in general? All right, so it's our search tree. Where is that at? It's not doing anything there, but then it's declared here. Maybe I can declare it as D equals 0 to start with. That shouldn't matter. Let's see, maybe it did. Oh, I don't think I turned my shit back on. So temp peep is passing, people tree is using the binary search tree. So I'm gonna do a CR real quick. We set root. Let's just see if it's gets to that point. It didn't even say we set root, so it broke before that. So it didn't get there, which means set value. Node set value. In here. Fucking doing some error tracking here. Just keep fucking working backwards till I get to see how that. All right, so that didn't fucking happen. So that means why is that not working? This happened. What? So let's try this. Let's make sure it did a person. Temp peep display. Okay, did that. What? Yeah. Return 0 is the only other thing. So I went to the constructor. We went and looked at the binary search tree constructor, which is right here. Let me do a CLE for it. Okay, got there. That's exactly where it's fucking up.
Oh,
So this is exactly where it's fucking up, root set value. So we're passing in the person to root as set value. That is a node thing of set value right here. So, see how did we get into set value? Yeah, it's all greened out. So we got into it. And okay, and that. What the fuck? Value, value should be, value is person. So why don't we change, because the other one said value, let's call it value P. Let's come down and change all this shit. So set person and get person, or set node and get node needs value P here. And I need get value to be value P. What? I just, because value was what it was, but integer was also value. And I wonder if there's any residual fucking problems. Because I grayed out integer value up in our node. I commented out integer value, but I had person value. So I'm just making it value P for value person and seeing if that will do it. But I think it checks for value in other spots. So I gotta go check. I got red here. There we go. Value P. Value P. So our find depth needs to change to go value P. Where?
For the,
Yeah, they're get value and set value. Those are the accessor methods. That's what I was actually like.
Oh, yeah, but for value P inside of the user method. You have value P, inside you get value, or get person, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So what was the name? Yeah. And then maybe that's what you have to do.
You know what? I'm just gonna copy and paste that shit. Might be. I'm doing it my way.
All right, so,
Damn, I gotta go through them all. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Find depth and then add node had those two. No, but we already got get value there. Good. All right. Did that do it? This son's of bitches. It doesn't like I'm. So it gets to set value here. It gets to this line right here. And then value P equals R doesn't fucking do a goddamn thing. And I can't reference. This is the accessor method. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Control Alt. I'm gonna copy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Eli. Residual code is fucking with shit. So I'm gonna come in here and make a new one. Or maybe just paste it in my playground. Well, that was worth a try. There is no reason for this to not work. What? Yeah. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna post this as an announcement and we'll pick up here on Wednesday. And we'll see, everyone try to figure out what the hell's going on. Yeah, if anyone gets an answer, say something on Discord. And I'll post this in the announcements. Not working code from day 18. Let's find it on Wednesday. So I'm gonna make a little, let's see. We narrowed it down to you know what? I just had a thought. Where were we? Where was binary search tree? Let's not do root set value. Let's do root call the person constructor. That's what it is. There's no fucking root equals new node. The ARG.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Something's off in what but it's
What is that? Yeah. That's the- Oh, can I see that?
root dot set value. Wait, see what?
Wait a minute, what is that?
I think you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, bitches! We found it.
Oh, but now we have to use a set root, right? Instead of, just root.
No, because we're creating a new node. I called the node constructor call. This is a
Oh,
node
yeah,
constructor
yeah.
call. So I'm gonna put this in Discord real quick.
Oh, somebody sent it. As soon as everybody left too, that's all that. Last one. Yeah. Not gonna be as crazy as far as- Yeah, all the time.
So I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna get rid of that.
Expecting to work, so it doesn't break much.
And I'm gonna get rid of that line. And I'm gonna get rid of that line. And I'll just test it real quick with my people tree dot print. It wasn't creating a new node, right, Eli? I was saying set the root. Eli was that, sorry.
Making the binary search tree from scratch. In the main. In the main? Yeah. So you have like the whole setup and everything? Yeah, everything else I have. That, okay, yeah. So are you talking about? Because when I'm saying no. Oh, you're saying you said? Okay, yeah, this is when we were doing it from scratch. Right. Yeah. Before that, we would have like feedback that we- It should have been in the- Yeah, so that's like I need to repackage it, and there's some better to do everything for it. So yeah, that's the old code, the old code, showing like, hey, configure it like this, but it's good forever. So now we're gonna do a whole like add node.
I don't know what made me think to check that. Something I saw triggered it, but I don't know what it was.
So-
Cause like I blurted out, oh, I know it, you know,
Yeah,
and it sure as shit it was.
yeah.
So something triggered that. And it was right when I was fucking pasting. So maybe when I was scrolling up, I fucking, yeah.
What's your question, Kevin? Yeah, so that's how we did it, like that, by hand. And then later on, it looked up the other input, we did it, and that's gonna get it all for all we had to do.